Welcome to another in a series of talks with experts in the field of health and well-being that work a lot with companies. I'm delighted today to be joined by Jonathan Pittam. Morning, Jonathan.
Morning.
How are we?
I'm good. Very good.
Excellent. That's the weird thing about Zoom because I know how you are because I've already asked you and now I've hit record. I feel like I should ask again. But Hey, it's real life. It's on a screen. It must be real life. But it is real life. It's not AI generated. Just in case anyone's thinking, I mean, why would you pay for this if it was AI generated? You wouldn't pay someone to look like this. Jonathan Midham does a lot of work, like I say, based around health and well-being in companies. Would you like to introduce yourself, Jonathan, and tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah, thanks. Morning, AJ. And yeah, I'm also real as well. I'm not AI generated like yourself. I would probably look different if I was a AI generated being. So I work with a lot of organizations across a range of industries, and my approach is about helping organizations take a habit-based approach to well-being. And that's whether it's habits at an individual level, at a team level, or an operational level. Because I think when you look at a lot of problems, a lot of things that are causing absence in the workplace, and it's a lot of it's chronic disease based. And by chronic disease, I mean things like heart disease. We're talking about type 2 diabetes, obesity. And these are things that are, for a large part, and including mental health as well, are linked to our lifestyle. Because we know that people with poor physical health are more likely to have poor mental health, and people with poor mental health are more likely to have poor physical health. So, not saying that in every instance this is the case, but in a lot of instances, how we live creates our health status, whether that's our mental, emotional, physical, financial, social, spiritual. So my job is to go into organizations and help people to learn the mechanics of habit and how to change habits. And that could be how to add in new habits to start building routine, but also how to remove habits. And again, it could be across the spectrum of wellness areas, but the most important thing is starting to build habits. And you find that when people start to understand habits, they're able to start building a routine, and the routine is what influences massively their health outcomes. Unfortunately, most people just don't have an understanding of habits, but also the habits they do have are pretty much the ones that are bringing them down, moving them away from good health rather than towards good health. So my aim is to teach people the tools to get them to good health.
Brilliant. And I've had the privilege of hearing Jonathan speak and being on one of his sessions. And embedding habits is key, and he can help you to do it. I had a shower shortly before this Zoom call, and every time when I put the shower hose back, I then switch it to cold and stand under a cold shower for 10 seconds. And this morning, like every morning, I stood there thinking, bloody Jonathan, as I'm stood there with cold water going over me. But there's benefits to it, and it's natural now. I can't not do it. Every time the shower hose goes back, that's the trigger to turn it to cold. So yeah, it's a really interesting approach. And yeah, like you say, we can't separate out physical and mental health. Historically, the medical profession have done that, but more and more we're now understanding that actually they're embedded. And on the mental health first aid courses, we say, we all have mental health. And there is no health without mental health. But also the reverse is true. If you're physically unwell, that's going to have a massive impact on your well-being too. So we can see how they're connected. And yeah, really excited to talk to you today. So thank you for that, Jonathan.
No problem. Yeah, I think that this is, I think when people start to understand the connection between these factors, because like you said, for years, mental health was about focusing on the brain, a lot of things to do with neuroscience, whereas we know, yes, those things play a part, but as we saw during COVID, when someone's lonely and isolated, so again, their social well-being, when that's struggling, they're more likely to have mental health issues. So many people struggled mentally during COVID when they couldn't be around other people. If you're in debt, we know that's going to affect your mood and your thinking processes if you can't get these things out of your mind. If you're not sleeping very well, we know that's going to affect your mood. So all of these aspects, these what I call the zones of well-being, they all interact with each other. If you've got no purpose or meaning in your life, you're going to feel different to someone who has, and that's that all of these things just touch on each other and influence each other either upwards or downwards.